Hey everyone, this is Wayne again. It's August 16. It's about 8 p.m. at night. I just finished a job with 2 men in a truck. Actually, I had two jobs today, which was, not too bad. The first one, the guy wasn't ready to um, move into his second location because he hadn't actually finished signing off with the lawyers. So we waited around, basically got free hours, got free money, basically. So that's a good thing. That's a 10-hour job right there. We also did another 2-hour quick thing where we uh, took a treadmill from one location to the other. It wasn't too hard. A little hard, but it wasn't that bad. So I'm just trying to catch up with you guys. Episode 3. Um, One of my goals is to make actually these episodes better and better in quality. I noticed a lot of stuttering, a lot of long pauses. My eye to camera connection probably wasn't the greatest. I want to slowly improve that aspect over time so that these videos get more professional and they get better quality in terms of my delivery of the episodes. Even though I'm just rambling on. Sorry, guys. I will work on it. I promise. I want to make this something actually worth watching after some point. So, just a recap of the last month or so since my last episode. A lot has happened. Pretty happy with the way things are going right now. Some things are not that great, but most things are pretty good. So for one, my sister got married last month, like literally like a month to plus a day. So congratulations, Ashley. Very happy for you and Antonio. Um, all the best wishes and future success. Hopefully, I'm a part of that and I can see and grow with that with you guys. What else? So last episode, or even two episodes ago, I can't remember, I was talking about the two apps that I'm working on. So I want to speak more in detail about what it's about. So one of them is a stock picking app. I'm currently calling it Crenda, just a random name I made up. It has no meaning, and it's probably just a temporary name until I find something that's more rolls off the tongue better and sounds better and more businessy like, more professional sounding. But for now, it's called Crenda. The second app is my personal assistant app, which I'm going to be working on for the rest of my life, just always making it better like Jarvis, like I said before. So today I want to talk about Crenda. Last time I mentioned that I had successfully finished version 1 or 2, I can't remember. I'm going to call that one version 1. And I'm going to say at this point, version 1 was actually not even that great. I've not made leaps and bounds, but I've made several improvements, which I'm really proud of. Number one, clean up the code a bit. Number two, I made the transaction logging system way more accurate. I moved from doubles and floats to big decimal. For those who are not in tech, it basically means that all those running long fractional numbers are not altering the numbers in a huge way, not messing with the final result. Like the way that you would calculate numbers using only, the first two decimals, cents, dollars and cents. That's basically what it's made to do. So when you actually look at the transaction logs on the Excel files, they're actually fairly friggin' accurate, which I'm very proud of and very happy about because I was having problems keeping track of um, the proper amount of shares to buy just because the rounding always made the final share number off by a little bit, which is what I did not like about that part. So that part was taken care of. I added buttons. So I reformatted the buy and sell portion of the app. So that works now perfectly. And then I separated the app into two parts. So I have basically version A, version B, or you can call it version automatic and version manual. What it basically means is if you get the manual version, as the stocks are being checked and um, analyzed, there are buy buttons all across the board, which you can then automatically press and it will make a pseudo transaction. It will buy that stock right away, log it into the Excel sheet, and then from then on, it tracks only that stock. And there's a sell button, so at any point in the day, you can sell it, or it will sell itself at a predetermined percentage gain. The automatic version um, completely removed the buy buttons, so it only buys by its own prescribed algorithm, which I wrote. There's still the sell button in case the user wants to get out early, or the algorithm does not fully satisfy the conditions of an emergency in which the user needs to get out right now. So the sell button is still there, but the buy buttons are gone. The point of that one is for it to literally run all day and make transactions on its own. So my first couple attempts with the automatic version actually came out pretty successful. I made about $80 in one day without even touching it, which is like fantastic. Um, whether it's repeatable is the question of more more analysis, more data, more opportunities to try the code out and see if the algorithm works. So that's something that I'm going to be working on for the next few months. For the immediate future, I want to turn my attention to version. Oh, by the way, so the episode 2, where I stood with the app, I'm going to call that actually version 1. Where I stand today, I'm going to call that version 2, because those two manual automatic segments are actually pretty legit in terms of pseudo trade and sell abilities. So I'm proud of the way it's come so far. So I'm going to call that version 2. So moving forward, for the rest of August, September, I'm going to actually be working on version 3, which is completely removing the buy and sell aspect of the app and focusing solely on just logging stock data, variables like the price, the percentages, the volume, all those different things by the minute. I also want to move into tracking several. How do I put this? Because the way that it works is I go to the NASDAQ screener page and I put it in my screener criteria, and it gives me a Excel file of stocks based on the criteria that I requested, right? So my app currently only works with one set of criteria for the day, and my algorithm is set to work with that one set of criteria. Okay, that's clear. What I want to do next is be able to gather several sets of different criteria combinations, which I'm going to work on. So I'm going to create like a randomizer, and I'm going to sort through the different possible variables of criteria that I can use and come up with 4 or 5, I think, different criteria which I think will be yielding good results. That's just start. Let's say 5 different sets of criteria combinations. Okay, so I want to get 5 of them going, and I want to analyze all 5 files simultaneously to gather which criteria set works best in which situations and how well each set works on its own. So my current knowledge dictates that I would need 5 different Android devices to run the separate sets concurrently. If there's a way to run them all on one device without taking too much computer time and actually being able to read through all the data that fast, I don't know how to do that yet. I'll figure it out which method works better, or if there's a better method. than what I just suggested. So I'll figure that out. But basically, version 3 is going to just be a number cruncher, like just take in all the data, crunch it, and be able to create charts and tables and Excel sheets, long Excel sheets of data by the minute, and just be able to crunch it all using new algorithms that will look for patterns. See, that's going to be the fun part, which is because the ability to gather all of that data, I have it. It's done. It's already been done. So what I have to do now is invent, not invent, but basically figure out for myself ways to analyze it algorithmically and then spit out something valuable to the user, to the reader, and do 5 sets at a time, like 5 different sets concurrently. So that's gonna be fun for me to figure out. And that actually might, if it turns out to be successful, in terms of the algorithm to crunch the numbers and also the analysis of the news articles, because actually, I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but my version 2 can actually read through the first couple articles of each stock and read and look for keywords, positive or negative, and give you a rating of how much good versus bad um, keywords were found in the article. So that's my first attempt or at judging a stock news article, and I will keep working at it, and I'll figure out a better way to do it. Um, so number crunch, news read, and basically that actually might be my first sellable version until I actually figure out how to merge an API with my app, which is not readily obvious to me, at least. Maybe if I just hired some outside help, it'd be like, quick. But I'm doing this on my own so far. Um, and that's actually the next thing I want to talk about. Um, Doing things on my own. A lot of this process of working on these apps actually has all been solo, just because a lot of friends and family and um, students that I studied with in school, when I explain my idea to them or explain a little bit of my project, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a really cool idea," but no one actually wants to get in and help with it. Everyone kind of like no one has time to help. No one has any real interests in my projects. I guess they all want to see the end results and at some point, I guess maybe jump in and get involved when it has some running steam. But when you think about it, or when I think about it, really, it's like at that point, do you even deserve to have a part of that process? Because I've spent literal months and year or 2 years, to years, yeah, years, working and thinking and planning and stressing and debugging and researching to figure out the tiniest of details, which could have been solved easily by a second set of hands. So I put sweat and tears, not sweat. I put tears and brain power and lack of sleep and lots of Red Bulls into this. So I am very protective now of my work. And I think it's at a point where now I am thinking who is worthy of sharing in my future success, because I do believe that I'm going to figure this out. I mean, I've come this far. Literally, I graduated school 2017, um, got my first contract job at ComputerShare, started this idea of Crenda, which is the stock picking app. Started the idea at ComputerShare, worked on it after, you know, during lunch hour, after work shift. Like I'd stay back after work and literally work on this stuff. And bang my head against the wall trying to figure out the simplest things. Um, and I, little by little, I got through it. Little by little, I solved minor details. I solved the minor problems, which to the normal experienced programmer is probably the simplest thing. But to me, they were accomplishments. So I am deeply proud of where I have come from and the obstacles that I have overcome by myself. And no one can take that from me. I mean, the problems themselves might be simple, but simple problems to a person who's doing everything on their own with no guidance and no background to know how to solve certain problems, that to me is huge. And that to me gives me confidence that put enough time and energy, I will friggin' figure this stuff out. I will find a way. The answer will come to me. So I don't need anybody to be there. I give enough time and I will figure it out myself anyways. So you're just helping me make it faster. So that's why I gotta give big ups to, you know, the people in my life who actually were there. Like Tanisha, she was always there for me, always encouraging me to um, work on my stuff. She never made an issue about me staying late to work. She always had dinner ready. You know, that kind of thing. Even though she couldn't help me with the code itself, being supportive to me, the way that she was very meaningful, and I am deeply thankful for her understanding. And I feel she is part of my success in so many ways because where I go from here could be anywhere, but the foundation was laid because she made it possible. And I will never forget that. Um, so moving forward, let's talk about today. Let's talk about the current situation. I'm running close to 20 minutes now. I don't want to keep you guys much longer. So let's wrap this up, okay? The current situation is I've been working at Two Men in a Truck. I just passed my first year anniversary. One of the great things about working here was that the shift work was very infrequent in terms of a lot of the jobs were 5 6 hours. It wasn't even a full day's work. I wasn't even working 6 days a week. I was working 4 days a week, 5 days a week. Wintertime, sometimes 3 days a week. So on average, I would say I'm getting about 20 hours, 20 hours a week. Yeah, 20 hours a week. Um, which allowed me the time to code after hours and to have the time to work through things, when I felt like it. Obviously, I wasn't working all the time. But now that I have reached version 2 and a certain milestone moment has been met, I feel that things have changed. For one, I now need more money. I need to have cash in my account to actually trade with, number one. I need to get my life on track, get a job, get experience, get my career going because this Krenda stuff is going to be the background. I'm going to run it while I'm working somewhere else. It's going to be making money for me while I'm making money somewhere else. It's my employee. It's not going to make me rich right away, but it's going to start the process, right? So I need to get serious because I'm 31 years old. I need to get serious about my life and my career right now. So I need to get out of Two Men in a Truck. I need to get a real career job started. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm looking for a job, I'm sending out 10, 20 resumes a day, responding to emails, going through Monster, going through Indeed, LinkedIn, doing my thing. And just like how little by little I figured out how to be successful with this programming, I feel given the same energy and time, I will figure out how to write the resumes and this cover letters, and I will get a job before the end of the year. And if it doesn't happen, by early next year. So, wish me luck. That's now the focus of the rest of 2019. Finding a job for myself in a career and getting version 3 started. All right, guys. Peace out. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode coming in a few weeks or months. Bye bye.